Abe Vigoda, Crush, it's cold.
Psh! Hello, my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I just shaved. We're going to do an album review right now, but before we get into that, I just want to mention that on theneedledrop.com right now, there's this really interesting, intense psych rock album that you could stream all the way through. Link in the D-box. Alright, let's get started. Abe Vigoda, West Coast band, and this is their fourth studio album, Crush. Abe Vigoda's first major wave of publicity came in 2008 when everybody was freaking out about the music scene based out of the California venue, The Smell. I'm talking about bands like No Age, Like Health, or Mika Miko, who disbanded recently. The bands that come out of this venue have a track record of being kind of catchy, but also not shying away from being experimental, being noisy, just turning up the volume. Abe Vigoda fits into that mold, and though their albums have never amazed me, I love that release after release after release, they're always looking for a new way to step outside their comfort zone. The album Skeleton was a much more shoegazy, much more effect-heavy release than its predecessor Kid City. Right after Skeleton came the Reviver EP, which really explored a lot of darker sounds, a lot of somber atmospheres. It was a really moody release, but still maintained a lot of the sonic experimentation that we've come to expect from these guys. I'm just going to say, for the sake of maybe condensing this review, that Abe Vigoda is really going kind of new wave on this thing. There's loads of synthesizers, repetitive guitar phrases, danceable drum beats, light touches of reverb here and there, just a slightly retro sound, but of course with a contemporary point of view. Here Abe Vigoda's favoring a lot more straightforward structures. They're kind of handing the hooks to us on a silver platter. I know Abe Vigoda isn't the most hook-oriented band, but when compared to albums like Skeleton, this thing is Hook City. And though the noise, and though the experimentation hasn't left Abe Vigoda's sound completely, they have really kind of toned it down in that department. It's really easily their most accessible record yet. But I'm kind of finding that I have a hard time accessing it. I do have some favorite moments on here. The song Crush, for example, maybe the only album's real rock song. Really the perfect combination of Abe Vigoda's old school sound but new school direction. Just that perfect combination of noisy sounds and pop sensibility. And the song Repeating Angel I just found myself attracted to for a number of reasons. It just has a great build going on and a very memorable hook and groove. But to be honest, a majority of these tracks I was either on the fence with or just not all that interested in, for one reason or another. That's the thing. There's no real one issue or problem that I have with this LP. It's just kind of as a result of Abe Vigoda experimenting, trying different things throughout these tracks, but some of these experiments go over really well with me and some of them don't. I think the most consistent issue that I have with this LP is the vocals. They sort of have this deep, bellowing croon going on, but they're either maybe a little sharp or a little flat, maybe a little dissonant on some moments in these songs, which I think is intentional much of the time, but still isn't doing much for me. There are just some moments here where I'm feeling an out-of-place drum machine, maybe the song is getting a little monotonous, a little repetitive, or maybe it's too cacophonous to really make heads or tails of the song. Whatever the issue depends really upon the track. For me, it's kind of what you might get if you had a forced collaboration between The Cure and Shoo Shoo. Both bands that I appreciate, but I don't know, the sound just isn't working together in this instance. However, I'm not worried, because I know the next time around Abe Vigoda is just going to be trying something else, and I may like that more. I mean, you know, I did enjoy Skeleton, Reviver was pretty cool too. This is just not appealing to me all that much. I'm kind of honestly feeling a strong 4 or a light 5 on a good day with this thing. What do you guys think of this thing? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? And why? And what's your favorite track? And what's your least favorite track? That's all I want to know. Anthony Fantano, Abe Vigoda, Crush, forever.